just say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. Voices echo in darkness, where honesty dwells. Aaron drops knowledge, casting his spells. Feelings are fading, lost in the fray. If you can't handle it, step out of the way. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. So brace yourself tight, prepare for the quake. Aaron had to say it, the truth won't break. Yeah, the truth won't break.
I had to say, or else it would just go unsaid. Yeah, I had to say, or else it would just go unsaid. If you didn't get it from me, you'd hear it from some new man instead. I may cuss and yell, but I know what I say is right. You know what, I will fucking yell, but I know what I say is right. So long as the world be fucking shit up, I'ma yell into this mic. Left or right, don't matter, I will call you on your shit. I said left or right, don't fucking matter, I will call you on your shit. If you're the side that fucking up, the gorilla's gonna deal with it. Yeah, I had to say it, or else it will go unsaid. Yeah, I had to fucking say it, or else it would just go unsaid. If you didn't hear it yelled at the top of my lungs, you got fed a crock of shit instead.
Hang on. Okay. Here we go again. Time for me to start this over, and I just fucked the pooch. It wouldn't be a live stream if I wasn't screwing up somewhere. So we're going to start it as we do by saying to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz, McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys from the Weather Report, to Billy G, to Walt from the Be Rob Podcast, to Kate, the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fonts of a World Blaze Podcast, to Josh from New Hampshire, and to a special shout out to Ken Madden of Mad K Studios. Thank you for the love, brother. I appreciate it. So anyway, we're going to start out. We're going to kind of jump into things. There's a few things going on, and this may be a short show, but every time I say that, it winds up going into like an hour and a half, give or take. But I've been a little out of sorts the last couple of days. I don't know if I've got another dose of COVID-97 or whatever the fuck strain we're on now, or if it's just because I'm kind of run down and feeling sickly, or if it's seasonal depression, or if it's being unemployed and not being reemployed yet. I don't know. Whatever it is, for whatever fucking reasons, I've been kind of out of sorts the last few days. So like I said, this may be short, but on the other hand, every time I say that, it winds up going full tilt and then some. Excuse me. So anyway, we're going to start out with the I don't want to say the elephant in the room, but the most prevalent thing that is, to my way of thinking, well, it's at the forethought of my mind right now, and it's mostly because it's been getting a lot of media attention, and I have thoughts about it. Now, last week I brought up how I was really enjoying the fact that Donald Trump called Tim Walz a retard, and it's just, yay, our side is back. We're taking back our words. The Gen X and me is just tickled that we can still say retard, but I never stopped, so, what can you do? But just to kind of revisit that, Tim Walz went out on social media and had a press conference or whatever to address the fact that people were driving by the governor's mansion, rolling down their windows, slowing down, and yelling out retard at his house over and over and over again. Apparently, it's a whole thing. And over the weekend, I did see reports that there were actually traffic issues because there were so many people waiting in line to drive past his house and scream retard at it. That, it was becoming something of an issue, and I heard it postulated that it's possible that his wife was sitting there with the windows open because cars idling and all the exhaust pouring out into the things is just, kind of like she said when the burning tires during the riots were, just so bringing her in touch with things. Maybe all that exhaust from the idling cars calling her husband a retard was bringing her closer in touch with the people too. That deranged fucking twat muffin. She's a horrible human being, and I will not say anything to apologize about that. So, there's that. That's the first thing. And we're going to stick in Minnesota because I want to talk about the Somalis in Minnesota. And it's been brought to light that massive amounts of fraud have been perpetrated by Somalians on the American people. And I've talked about that too, how they were defrauding charities aimed at helping children, helping autistic people, to the tune of about $1 billion. And the implications are coming out that not only was Ilhan Omar, kind of passively involved in it, but she may have actually been actively involved in it because she received several donations from several of the people that were like key figureheads in this particular fraud scheme. So it's looking pretty grim. The right-wing talking heads that are on social media, the ones that get the boosting, the ones that are the push narrative ones, are saying, I've seen a lot of accounts on X because that's where I do my primary social media currency these days, is spent there. Mostly because that's where I win the free guns. But the social media yammering heads on X for the last couple of days have been talking about, the walls are closing in, the rats are fleeing the ship, people are ready to throw her under the bus left and right. And I that's great to hear. I don't think anything's going to come from it. I really don't. I'm at the point where until I see an actual congressperson in fucking cuffs, somebody being perp walked off the fucking Capitol Hill, I don't fucking care. I mean, you can talk all the shit you want about, justice is coming and there's going to be a reckoning and this and that and this and that. Until something actually fucking happens, I don't believe it anymore. I don't believe there's going to be a reckoning. I don't believe anybody's going to be held to account. I don't believe anybody's going to be, denaturalized. I don't believe anybody's going to be deported, even though there's overwhelming evidence that her citizenship should be revoked anyway because she did it fraudulently. The evidence is overwhelming that she married her brother to get him citizenship because right before everything came to light, he fled back to fucking England. But that's, it's neither here nor there. It's nothing worth really getting worked up about it because, like I said, I don't believe at this point that anything's going to happen. The Republicans in Congress and most of, the lower offices as well are spineless fucking clowns who are just, they're more than content to keep their place in the swamp. And if we do this or if we do that, we won't get reelected. So we can't do this. Or more importantly, if we do that to them, they'll do it to us when they get back into power. Well, if you do it right, they'll never get into that position. But these, spineless, weak-kneed, compromised, sniveling fuckstains in D.C. don't understand that very basic concept of you only have to worry about them doing it when they get back into power. If you allow them to get back into power, if you actually start delivering on your promises to the American people, actually showing the American people that there is any kind of fucking reason to have faith in you and to stay behind you, then the American population will continue to support you and you will be okay with it. You will be able to enforce the laws and do the things the American people are actually demanding of you because then the American people will have your back and you won't have to worry about losing at the next midterms. But most of the swamp is content to keep kicking back and forth with this shit and to keep maintaining status quo because that's how they benefit. That's how they get their positions, their power, their perks, all the horse shit that's behind it. So realistically, again, I don't expect to see anything come of this. I don't expect to see Ilhan being denaturalized and stripped of her. She hasn't even been stripped of her committee positions. So why would I believe anything's actually going to come of this fraud investigation? They could find out she actually was taking checks that were made out to Ilhan Omar, memo, bribe, and they're still going to let her fucking go. It doesn't fucking matter at the end of the day. Sody. Again, not sponsored, not for lack of trying. So, yeah, that's kind of the first thing I was really thinking about is the fact that this whole situation is, I mean, yeah, it's great. It's being exposed. It's being dragged out, kicking and screaming like, oh, look, all the fraud we found. And like I said, until something happens, I don't care. Until these, Somali scumbags who defrauded the American people of $1 billion are, in jail, who gives a fuck? Oh, well, we caught them. Did you do anything with it? Then who cares? Shut the fuck up. It's like the kid who's like, look, I made poopy in my pants. Well, why are you proud of that? I mean, you've accomplished nothing besides get shit on yourself. I don't see it's I don't know. I'm maybe again. Maybe I'm coming down with something. Maybe I'm just out of energy. Maybe I'm just emotionally spent. I don't know. That's the other thing. I got to get back out into the real world and start working because my social batteries are completely tapped out. They're flat. I can't do anything without just being exhausted of everyone. I'm sure part of that's due to lack of usage. So, anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to touch on. The next thing I wanted to touch on is it's something, I've been, again, I know social media is not the real world. Social media is not even, it's not even the imaginary world. It's amplifies extremists and it, completely drowns out rational people because they don't engage in it. They don't live there. But this is the kind of things. If you don't know who, pretty much everybody knows who Tim Pool is these days. And Tim Pool, apparently his compound got shot up the other day. Drive-by shooting late night. Nobody was hurt, but it's kind of weird. Like the timing is, we've got Candace Owen, who I don't have any belief in at this point, who's out there saying there's a conspiracy to have her to be assassinated and all this other shit, and she's out there bad-mouthing all the people who, basically saying the people who run Turning Point USA were complicit in Charlie Kirk getting killed and a bunch of other. She's been coming out with some really wild shit, and if you listen to the Boomer Bunker, like I keep telling you to, you'll hear Jamingo echoing similar sentiments. And it's not that I'm, stealing John's theory or anything. It's just we both kind of feel the same way about it. And I'm really starting to be convinced John is just me from 10 years in the future. It just fits. But at the end of the day, it's like, no, I really feel like, these people who were at one point very significant right-wing, right-leaning talking heads or touch points for society to look to are, in a lot of ways, they're not realistically here on the right. It's because they're here to kind of break the right up and keep, because I think the powers that be saw that your average Americans were getting really fed up and starting to get too unified. So you get these people in the indoctrinated and you get them inundated with a certain faction of people where it's like, okay, well, we're right on this, but we're not on that, and these people are right on that, and they just push those divides. Tucker, Candace, even Tim Pool, to a degree, I feel like speaks to a certain subset, and they all seem more than content to, foster these things that push division within the ranks to kind of keep too much unity and momentum from occurring. I really do think it's insane, but again, what do I know? And also, I try not to follow these things too fucking closely because it takes too much out of you. It's like energy vampires. I don't know how to put it without using some kind of weird hokey reference, but it really does. It takes effort and energy that could be better focused on other shit and draws it away to this trivial nonsense that at the end of the day isn't going to change anything in your life. Other than if we're looking at this as the fact that there seems to be a lot of violence and it's all being aimed at right, and even by some standards, they shouldn't be considered right-leaning, but more right than the fucking wackadoo or more conservative-leaning people. All the violence seems to be coming from the fucking, purple-haired, they, them, fucking, I don't know which bathroom to go in because my bits don't align with my feels this week. And, I mean, all the violence is coming from the left, and I don't think that's accidental. I think it's fucking deliberate. And part of that, and I've talked about this in the past, is the right likes to hold to this ideal that we have to maintain a higher moral ground. And I'm saying this as a right-wing person would say it, not necessarily what I would say, because as anyone who's listened to the show for more than a couple episodes realizes, I don't consider myself a right-wing person. I am more of a centrist. I have more right-leaning tendencies because I believe in guns and responsibility and liberty. But at the end of the day, I would not consider myself a conservative because conservatives want things to stay a certain way, and I think that everything needs to be changed. I just don't think it's being changed in the right fucking direction. So, I really wouldn't call myself fucking conservative. So, at the end of the day, though, all the violence seems to be coming from one set of people, and one side, however you want to slice it. And it's not accidental. It's the same with the Seditious Six and those fucking retards. It's because they keep feeding their side rhetoric and ideologies that are designed to be divisive and inflammatory and to dehumanize the opposition, making their fucking slack-jawed retard supporters way more comfortable with the idea of doing violence upon these people because they feel that it's justified. They feel in their minds it's okay because not only are they dealing with subhuman individuals because they're Nazis and they're fascists and they're all the things that we were told by our gods to believe are bad in the fucking world, despite the fact that they're actually acting with all the fascist behavior themselves. They lack the self-awareness to process to that level. They lack the cognition because they're all college educated, so they don't have the ability to fucking think. It's really kind of sad, actually, but that's not the tear I'm going to go off on this particular episode. It's more that just, at the end of the day, these people they're being conditioned to believe in executing violence. Now, fortunately, in a lot of ways, they're not very fucking good at it. As much as the violent rhetoric comes from the left, as much as the left are the ones engaging in acts of violence, if you look at the overall effectiveness of it, it's these are not people that are effective at violence. They're not good at violence. Most of those people tend to lean a little more conservative in their standards and their thoughts. Now, that's not to say we should be completely discounting the idea of left-wing militants that are actually armed and training, because I'm sure they exist. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they're getting ready, and they're just waiting for their fucking moment to start popping off. I don't necessarily think there's enough of them that it will be the case that they're, going to win, but I do think there's going to be a huge shockwave going through the culture when people realize there is a subset of these assholes that are out there that are training, armed and training in how to be proficient at violence. Now, do I think that's the fucking limp-wristed they-thems that are posting social media clips of themselves learning how to punch Nazis and, all the other retarded shit where you get these guys throwing the most limp-wristed, awkward, this is going to break your thumb and your wrist punches I've ever seen in my fucking life? I mean, I have, female cousins that threw better punches at 12 than some of these assholes that are grown-ass men learning how to throw a punch for the first time because they were raised in single-parent households by fucking man-hating women that got fucked and dumped and then wound up squirting a kid out 9 months later and then blame the kid and men for their lives in general. So they, instead of raising actual men, raised the failed fucking spawn you see in front of you that are fucking limp-wristed, sad sacks of shit. Male feminists and every other fucking failed individual on the fucking planet made from fucking pre-cum and fucking decrepit eggs in the most part. But anyway, I don't mean to go off on that particular tear. It's a little graphic. I apologize. But at the end of the day, those aren't the fucking people you got to be concerned about. The ones you got to be concerned about, these leftist movements always have a militant wing. They're not the fucking necessarily going to be the ones you're out there seeing making the stink. They're not the ones protesting out on campuses. They're not the ones out there marching Queers for Palestine or any other fucking shit. Those are useful idiots. Those are the ones they're fodder. Those are the ones to get in the way and suck up the attention and suck up the fucking flack. So when the actual trained, prepared individuals come into the field, the good guys are already fucking worn down from dealing with the massive swamp of idiots that are in between them. It's a case of, you look at historical precedent. You look at the way the revolution went when the Bolshevik Revolution happened in Russia, when they took out the Tsar and their families, and when the fucking Maoist revolution happened in China, when the Color Revolution happened. It was the college-educated degenerates that kept the military busy while the fucking militant communists ran the fucking rails and took shit by force while the military was stuck dealing with a bunch of harmless fucking retards. And then once the fucking fight was over, the revolution was done, the fucking actual militant communists had seized power, the fucking college assholes were the first ones up against the fucking wall. And there's a historical precedent for this. Now, of course, because they're a bunch of college-educated retards, they don't understand that it's not going to be different this time. They're the same useful idiots that they found the last time in China. These morons think they're going to be part of the intellectual elite because they embraced it and leaned into the revolution, and food is a human right and every other piece of nonsense that they're fucking stomping behind. And you got these fucking leftist shill retards like fucking AOC and Bernie and every other one in the squad, these fucking morons that are out here pushing failed ideology to stupid fucking entitled pieces of shit. And then you look at, New York's going to be a perfect case study, and it's going to fail terribly, and every fucking retard that's going to flee the policies that are a direct result of their fucking bad decisions are going to drag their shitty politics behind them like a cat with a can tied to its fucking tail. They're going to move to some deep red area that's actually still livable, and they're going to ruin it with their shit ideologies because they're fucking stupid. But, that's the kind of stuff that makes me a right-wing extremist, because I believe in common sense and I believe in looking at history and looking at precedent and following things that actually make sense to their logical conclusion. And fuck your feelings, fuck your face if you want to be one of those feelings or matter and words or violence. And you know what? It's infuriating, it's frustrating, it's exhausting, it's hard to deal with in a lot of fucking ways. But we do as we do. So at the end of the day, that's what we do, is we fucking deal with it. And, it is what it is. And, yeah, I'm tired. I'm world weary. I don't leave the house much, so it doesn't. I feel, part of me is like, this isn't going to impact me. But at some point it is. I live in a fucking state that's basically 3/4 communist already. It's run by a bloated, worthless, pasty fuck muppet who believes in utilizing the plebes to fucking keep himself in a position of being a bloated, worthless, pasty fuck muppet. He's trying to get ready to run for fucking president, and I swear to Christ, something bad's going to happen if he even makes it past the primaries. It's I don't know how else to put it. It's one of the fucking seven seals. This guy's a worthless, feckless sack of shit. And him getting anywhere near the actual ultimate seat of power in this country is a horrific fucking thing. I mean, Newsom might still be worse. I'm on the fence on that one, but Pritzker's definitely giving him a run for his money as for being the biggest piece of shit with the. I mean, he's got his citizens struggling under the highest individual tax debt in the country, and somehow still thinks he's going to get fucking voted into office. Delusional sacks of shit. I hate them all, but there's really nothing I can do about it. I'm just some guy with a mouth and a microphone. And yeah, but those are really the two kind of little. I can't really call them rants. They were very tame tonight, but the two little things that were rolling around in my head in terms of current events and what's going on in the fucking world. I'm sure there's some other things I haven't really hit that are out there. The standoff in Venezuela is still. Yeah, it's getting warmer. The Venezuelans are trying to flex like they got something to fucking say, like they actually have a chance against the fucking American military, which they don't. But whatever. They've got the backing of China because that's a perfectly reasonable place for them to be according to their mindset. But that's not the case. And I'm glad to see the U.S. is starting to reinforce the doctrine of if you are a potential enemy to the United States, you will not operate in theater in our hemisphere. So that's. What is it, the Monroe Doctrine, I believe it is, alive and well under Pete Hegseth, so that's a wonderful thing. Not that that's stopping the left from being like, oh my God, Hegseth, he needs to step. I'm so tired of seeing these fucking smooth-brained fucking Congress people trying to call for him to step down because they don't like what he's doing. Oh, well, he's crass, he's crude, he's not embracing, the future. No, that's the kind of motherfucker you want in a position where violence is the fucking point. That's something these fucking jackasses have forgotten. The military doesn't exist to fucking mollycoddle your feelings and to make you feel good about yourself. It exists to defend the nation. Now, I know most of the fucking leftist assholes in D.C. don't actually want to defend the nation because they'd just as soon see the American ideals die as long as they line their pockets in the process. But, no, we need a warfighter in charge of our fucking military, not somebody who feels comfortable wearing the fucking dress in spite of the fact that their balls show when they bend over. It's just... It's infuriating that these fucking assholes manage to weasel their way into power, and it's more infuriating that they stay there. But yeah, so things in Venezuela kind of heating up a little bit. Not really too concerned about it because, again, we're still the American military. We still spend more than the next, 4 countries put together on our military defense budget. I mean, yeah, granted, a ton of that goes to us defending all of NATO, which is frankly disgusting to me. I mean, none of NATO puts in their fair share, even their agreed upon share. So fuck them. I honestly don't think we should be in NATO anymore. I don't think we should be defending the EU in any way, shape, or form. And people are going to say, oh, well, that just means what happens when Russia decides to start invading them. Well, then maybe they need to handle their own shit. I mean, we are $37 or $38 trillion in debt right now. We really can't afford to be fucking covering for people who don't want to pay the bills. All these assholes that are over there hating us, talking shit about America on a regular basis. America doesn't even have socialized medicine. Well, if you actually had to pay to defend yourselves, you wouldn't either, motherfucker, because it becomes a matter of priorities. The only reason most of these shithead European fuckwaffles can get their attitude is because they live under our fucking umbrella, and maybe it's time we remind them of that. I mean, we've been defending the fucking Europe from itself for 80 fucking years. Maybe it's time to just, sometimes you gotta let the kid touch the fucking stove, and maybe it's time we do that. Let these fucking assholes see what it's like to actually have to deal with the world. They're already being invaded and overrun by fucking Muslims any goddamn way. So why not just, pull all our stakes and say, you know what, free for all. Let the strongest fucking keep it. Assholes want to talk shit and hate us. You can hate it. You can hate us without us having to pay for your fucking defense. It's an amazing concept, actually. I say fuck them. Let them hate us for free. Okay, well, let's see. We've got Lorenzo in the chat saying, okay, about Candace. Can you say something without getting mad? Please, by all means, feel free to say something about Candace. I'm not going to get mad because, honestly, I don't fucking care. So, speak your piece, my friend. It will be fine. And while that's going, because there's lag and all this other fun shit, I'm going to, let's see, there was something else that my brain went to thinking about with Venezuela and, Oh yeah, and with all these dipshit assholes trying to defend the attacks on the cartel boats, saying, "Oh well, Hegseth's committing war crimes because he's shooting people that are in the water and da 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 da." First off, they're pulling survivors out of the water. They're not leaving them there to die. Second of all, you know what? That's not how military doctrine works. They're trying to say, "Oh well, it's considered bad form and it's a war crime to shoot stranded sailors." No, you know what? No, the fuck it's not. When you shoot your target and then you make sure your target's eliminated. That's good policy. We're not, like I said before, we're not in the point of saying, well, here, you guys line up on that side of the hill and we line up on this side of the hill, then we shoot at each other across the field and whoever's left standing wins. Those fucking days are done. We're not using smoothbore muskets anymore. Technology changes and doctrine needs to change with it. And anybody who says, well, we blew up those poor narco-terrorists, but then we're going to leave them in the water, and we're obligated to pull them out and make them feel better. No, we're not. We're really not. At the end of the day, they're not going to... If they would not return the fucking courtesy, I'll tell you that right the fuck now. So why are you trying to be, oh, well, we need to make sure we're... No, we fucking don't. It's time to be a little bit more fucking realistic and ruthless. It's the end of the fucking line. It's retarded. Let's see. She could totally get it. Crazy ones are the best. Yeah, well, Lorenzo, you know what they say. Grippy socks, grippy box. Anyway. I don't think anybody's mad at you about that part. Now, if you're going to say she's a sane and rational individual, that's a whole nother conversation. But, yeah, no. Crazy is always makes it entertaining. Anyway, that's, like I said, that's kind of all the current event thoughts I'm having at the moment. It's not super ranty, like I said. It's just kind of, it is what it is. I do want to touch on something else that is a case. The last couple of weeks, I've been sitting here trying to deal with trying to look at the show. I mean, I have downtime right now, as everyone knows at this point. I am still doing my damnedest to try and get out of that situation. One of the things is I look at it is I'm trying to not get too disheartened at the fact that I don't have another job yet because it's the end of the year. And at the end of the year, particularly in my line of work, a lot of places are coming up on the end of their fiscal year as well. And if they can go another 3 or 4 weeks without having to add numbers to the payroll bottom line, that's just yay for them. Maybe they're worried about getting their bonuses, maybe whatever. But I feel like a lot of these positions, I'm a lot more likely to hear some things right towards the end of the year. And that I'm going to have to just wait until January before I can really start seeing any kind of luck. Now, and just as a little fun inside baseball for the folks here that are also listeners of the Weathered View in the morning, which you all should be doing on X, Kate's here. Sorry she's late. Please start over. Okay. Hi, everybody. So welcome to another episode of I Had Say It. So we're going to start out as we do by saying to Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz, McShane, El Jefe, El Devil, and El Marte, to the guys from the Weather Report, to Billy G, to Walt from the B-Rob Podcast, to Kate, the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fonts of the World of Blaze Podcast, and to Josh from New Hampshire. Thank you very much for all your continued support. It means the world to me. And thank you, a special thank you to Ken Madden of Mad K Studios for his generous gift. There you go, Kate. You feel better now? I started over. I derailed my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So anyway, with the more downtime, I'm trying to take the show seriously, too, because I'm one of those people that when I'm not working, I still can treat myself as finding a job is my fucking job until I find a fucking job. And it's so I try to commit at least 5 or 6 hours a day to looking for fucking work. Now, fortunately, the world has changed in a dynamic of I don't have to be out there burning up gas and beating the street to find fucking interviews because I don't have to just go walking into random places like, hey, y'all hiring here? Those days are behind us, and, good riddance to them. I fucking hated having to do that last time I was looking for a job, which tells you how long it's been since I was looking for a job when that's how I was doing it. But I've been trying to look at this as I have more time, and I've tried to get you fuckers to engage with me on social media in various ways, shapes, and forms, and to try and get feedback from people to see what y'all think I should be doing in terms of trying to grow the show, trying to make it a better thing, to make it more of an experience, to broaden the horizons. And upon the advice of the only people who actually give me feedback here, which would be the morning crew and Kate telling me I need to start doing cooking videos and shit like that, I have every intention of starting to release shorts on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Reels, and probably the platform that I hate, of saying it will be a case of I'm going to start doing these video shorts. I got a great suggestion from Lorenzo today. I'm definitely considering that being one of the things I'm going to do. Sadly, I could not get a concentric suggestion other than Kate telling me to do cooking shorts, which I'm going to do. I'm doing it, I promise. And now... and then I've actually got a fun little angle here that Lorenzo suggested that I'm going to give credit where it's due, and I'm going to lean into that, and and to give credit, the fun twist will be that's all Lorenzo's original concept, and y'all figure it out once you see the clips. But so I am going to start doing that. I already tried to start doing a basic an initial video, and I ran into some issues right away with my camera no longer working properly. I'm gonna have to see how much it is to get a new battery for it. I think that's the problem. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But also I had people telling me that I should do that's the thing is, at the point, I'm not trying to be original anymore. I'm just trying to find original ways to do things that are already being done. And I had a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot because I never get a lot of feedback, but of the fucking 5 responses, I got 4 people saying I should do like reaction/critique videos to other people's cooking videos and just talking shit about how fucking stupid they are. And so, that actually kind of plays into my wheelhouse of I'm pretty good at talking shit, I think. I think I'm creative about it. I think it's entertaining when I start talking smack. So I am going to be asking you guys, the listeners, to start sending me shit to review, shit to critique, videos of other people doing shit on social media platforms so I can critique it and either fix it or just talk some shit, depending on it. And we'll see where the spirit takes me once I start getting these things. But I am not going to go out there and spend all my time looking for this shit. It's not that I don't love you guys dearly, but like I said, I still have to dedicate a certain amount of my day to finding another job for right now. As much as I love you guys, the show don't pay the bills, so I got shit to do. But it's going to be a case of I'm putting kind of like a call to action out to you guys. I can't get you guys to respond to a survey. I can't get you guys to fucking enter for one of contests when I'm giving shit away. Maybe I can get you guys to help me make some fucking content. Go to I Had to Say It pod on either X or TikTok or Instagram, and you can send me stuff there. You DM me videos so I can check them out. Or you can send them to me at ihadtosayitpodcast@gmail.com, and you can email shit to me if that's how you prefer to do things. Or you can go to the website, ihadtosayitpodcast.com, and find the feedback form and just put a link in the feedback form. If you don't want to fucking give me in your contact information for whatever fucking reason, you just want to do it anonymously, you can do it there. And I will get it, and I will look at it, and I will talk some shit. And let's see, Cody just popped up in the chat, and I know I'm trying to avoid getting distracted by the chat, but I'm going to say at this point this is a good thing. Combine those things. Find somebody making a dish awfully, react to it, talk shit about it, and then make it properly and step by step, break it down, and make it into a thing. And I appreciate that you guys are, kind of, seems like at least my regular listeners have, Shauna, you don't get to text me anything. You're not allowed in the process. It's going to be a case of it seems like people are getting kind of excited for this, so I think it's going to be a fun thing to do, and I'm going to do my damnedest to. I mean, hopefully with the whole thing with the whole thing being set up, we'll be able to start out with some recipes that aren't super expensive to fix because again, unemployed, no income. And by the way, but while I'm thinking of it, and this is a total non sequitur here, but it's going to come out of my mouth anyway. When I bitch about my current situation, I'm not. Please don't ever take that as I'm not asking for anything from you guys. I appreciate and I love you guys dearly just for your time. The people who want to, be generous with their contributions, whether it be through a subscription or one-time gifts or however it goes, because we've gotten a couple of both. I appreciate you guys, I really do, but please know I'm never asking for it. It's me bitching to get shit off my chest. I kid about a lot of things. I joke about a lot of things. I appreciate you just for your time and your presence. I never expect anything from anybody. And I'm saying all of that to say this. there is an Amazon wish list on the podcast website. I do not expect anyone to ever buy anything off of it. The only person who has to date has been Bruce. And as much as I appreciate it, I don't want you guys spending your money on me. It's there as a laugh. It's a MacGuffin. It's for shits and giggles. It's why I tried to find a bunch of retarded shit that cost a fortune to put on there, because I don't expect anyone to ever buy it. Now, there are some things on there that are utterly retarded too, which are. It's because it made me laugh. Again, it's nothing I expect anyone to buy for me. Will I take a rubber chicken if it shows up in the fucking mail? Yes, I will, and I'll laugh and I'll make a video with it. But it's not anything I ever expected anyone to take seriously, and I mean, I appreciate everything you guys do for me. I appreciate you spending your time with me, because that's realistically the only thing in the world that any of us have a finite amount of. Everything else you can get more of. You can get more money. You can get more resources. You can get more anything. I can get more of anything. It's a matter of, putting in the hustle and the grind and doing the struggle. And at the end of the day, your time is precious to all of us, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to be in your life for part of that time. And sharing your time with me means more to me than anything else ever will. And I just I'm being all sappy and lovey-dovey, I guess, but that's just realistically the way it is. And thank you, Kate. I appreciate you yelling at me in the chat. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. But anyway, so yeah, I say all of that to say this in a classic Jamingo line. It's going to be a case of I'm going to start trying to get these videos done, chopped up. But again, I need you guys to help me find some shit to do. I need you to help me. And then once I do finally start posting the videos, please, for the love of fuck, if they're terrible, tell me. If they're not terrible, tell other people. It's one of those things. If you had a problem with us, tell us. If you didn't, tell a friend, instead of the other fucking way around. Because negative comments will. It's one of those things I've known for a long time living in the service industry. It's like one bad review will hear 100 ears, but somebody saying something nice about you only is going to wind up in the comment box. People have a shit experience, they tell fucking everybody. When people have a fantastic experience, maybe if you're lucky, they tell their server. But so yeah, that's going to be the other thing is, if I start pulling this shit and putting in the investing my time and effort, I'm gonna need you guys to share it with your friends, share it with your coworkers, share it with people you don't like, as Bruce usually says at the end of the episodes in the morning. And and together we can all just make me into a semi-internet known individual, I guess. Not that I'm really concerned about that, because, if I get too famous, maybe all of a sudden the lefties will start trying to assassinate me when they start going through my back catalog and realizing that I'm an asshole that thinks they all suck. But we can always hope they'll listen to enough episodes to realize I think people on the right are a bunch of assholes that suck too, because I just think people in general suck as long as they're being shitty to other people. It's like, you guys are my people. I like you guys. But, people who can't understand the basic concept of we can disagree on shit and still be civil to each other, I don't like those kind of people. And, I think part of that's a generational thing. I think part of it's it's just, I don't know, maybe some of it's just being Midwest nice, I guess. But it's a case of it is what it is. Georgia Peach Sody, because I'm drinking Shauna Sodies now because I'm out of mine. That's her favorite flavor. In case anybody was wondering why I'm saying it's Shauna Sodi, she likes the peach. But so there's that. Derailed my train of thought here for a second. Let's see. While I'm trying to remember what it was I was talking about, we'll say I did actually receive a package today of delicious Clockham coffee. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you to Bill and Dana for sending me my coffee, as well as a couple of samples of the other flavors that I have not ordered yet. I look forward to trying all of them. I look forward to purchasing more in the future. It's a phenomenal thing. I am excited for it. And so go to clockhamcraft.coffee to get to support small businesses, to support independent roasters, to support independent podcasts. That's right, Clockham Craft Coffee, the official sponsor of The Weathered View. And anyway, you guys don't have to worry about scouring TikTok. I have a couple people that will do that for me, I'm sure. I have a TikTok. I don't like to use it. I set it up when I started the show. I don't go onto it very often. Duchess, I think what Cody's saying is, you don't assume because you make an ass out of you and me. Yeah. Okay, Jinx, that just popped up in the chat. But no, Cody, you're the ass this time. Duchess is innocent in the assery. So. Anyway, where was I going? I did a Clockham Craft cold read. I was really going somewhere with that. I'm super excited about my good coffee that's here now. It'll be nice to get back to being a bougie coffee snob for a while instead of an impoverished coffee drinker. On a side note, I actually may do something that goes against my better nature and actually go out and buy a Starbucks just because the land whales are still bitching that they're not making a living wage pouring mid-tier coffee into a fucking paper cup, fucking up, putting cream and sugar into it, and being a bunch of assholes bitching that they don't make enough money. So, I've spent the last decade talking about how Starbucks is overpriced shit water and people that drink it are fucking bougie assholes. But now they're pissing off the land whales, and that makes me happy. So I might have to go out and buy a cup of Starbucks just on general principle because that's just the kind of asshole I am. But I'd rather drink good coffee, so I'm going to be drinking my Clockham Craft coffee going forward. So neener, I win. Okay, and no, Cody, I don't consider Starbucks employees baristas. They consider themselves baristas, but they're not making artisanal coffees. They're fucking up pouring drip coffee into a cup. I mean, seriously, the last time I went to a Starbucks, which was over a decade ago, was when I was working in Chicago, and I needed a cup of coffee for the train because I was falling asleep standing up. And I went in there, and I asked for a black, no sugar French vanilla. It's literally what I asked for. These dumb motherfuckers, after charging me $7.50 for a fucking cup of coffee, handed me a cup of French vanilla that was so fucking sweet it puckered my asshole. It was ridiculous. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why I got diabetes, was that one cup of coffee that this dumb bitch that I said no sugar apparently thought meant 23 fucking packs of sugar in it. Actually, I know for a fact you can get 23 packs of sugar into a cup of coffee. Now, usually when I was working in downtown Chicago, my go-to for coffee was to go to the Dunkin's that was right next to the train station. But there was a few days where it was not an option for me because the Dunkin' was closed because they had a water main break or something in that building, so they couldn't make coffee without water. But then the Starbucks that was like down the block was still open, so I went to Starbucks to go get a coffee against my better judgment and was massively disappointed at a coffee I paid twice as much for and was half as happy with. It was just fucking ridiculous. So I don't go to Starbucks, like, ever. But I might do it, again, just like I said. Fuck those people. Fuck them for wanting their union. It's... Like I said, it's ridiculous to me. It goes back to that whole, if you want to make more than minimum wage, you need to make more than minimum contributions to society. And pouring coffee into a cup is not ground-shattering, necessary shit. It's at best an indulgence, and at worst, it's fucking, unnecessary snootery. Milk and Pepsi. Ugh, No, bad Lorenzo. Bad Lorenzo. And yes, I've done that. Never liked it, though. So anyway, that was a lot of bitching about the Starbucks people. Wow. Still don't remember what else I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Another thing in part of the whole pod going in a slightly more serious direction. Like, since I got the time, I might as well lean into it. It's I recorded a guest episode on Friday. Sat down with somebody who I've been wanting to talk to. A cool guy named JD the Bot Guy. He's on X, and that's a primary social media platform, and he's one of the people that is part of like the unsub audience, and really interesting guy. Actually, sat down, talked to him. We knew each other a little bit from the Discord for the unsub for the Pepperbox Discord, and just through interaction and stuff. I've talked about him on here before, where he was the guy that gave me the hat and the shirt to wear to the Unsubscribe podcast show in Chicago. And we talked about that. He's got a channel on YouTube. It's Forced Valor Radio. It's really entertaining. Even if you don't, follow Unsubscribe, or you don't know who Brandon Herrera is, which, by the way, you should know who Brandon Herrera is. He's running for Congress. He's a very intelligent young man. When I realized how young he actually was, I got a little depressed for a few minutes. But yeah, he literally just turned 30. But really smart guy, really got his head on straight. Good dude. Running for Congress. Would actually like to see him in there, because he's the kind of person that needs to be in D.C., not the kind of person that is in D.C., because he's making more money doing what he's doing right now than he will be making as a congressperson. He's not going there to make money. He's going there because he still believes in what the ideals of this country were founded on, and he's hoping to try and make a change. So we'll see. He's very, 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 very staunch 2A guy. His internet name is the AK guy. That should tell you something. Look his videos up. You can learn a little bit about the guy. But anyway, so the Forced Valor thing ties into Brandon Herrera. And that was how JD and I kind of started, made each other's acquaintance, was that because he did a giveaway and I won the shirt and the hat, because apparently X is the only place where Aaron ever wins anything, but I've got a pretty good track record going at this point. With this year, I won a shirt, a hat, 2 free guns. I got nothing to bitch about. But so at the end of the day, JD and I was just like, hey dude, you want to come on the podcast? I'd love to, sit down and shoot the shit with you a little bit more. And he's like, well, I've never been on a podcast. I've done a few Discord chats, but I've never done a podcast. And I'm like, it's pretty much the exact same thing. It's going to be you and me shooting the shit. We're going to just talk, and we'll see how it rolls. Well, he could be from Alaska, but he's not. I actually know where he's from. Or wait, no, Brandon is from. Can't talk. Brandon's a military brat. He's AK is an AK-47. Very, very staunch gun guy. But thank you, Bob. I appreciate your contribution to the chat. Excuse me. So where was it? Oh yeah. So anyway, JD and I sat down on Friday to record an episode. I wasn't really sure where I was going to go, but we were going to talk about ForcedValorRadio.com, his YouTube channel, Forced Valor Radio, and it was going to be a case of I wanted to, like I said, get him in front of you guys, and I wanted to know what was going on, and and I was also curious about the handle. I wanted to know why JD the Bot Guy, and we discussed that too, and it was actually a really good time. It was we wound up going for a little over 4 hours in the in the conversation. Anyway, all that is to get to this point. I'm going to be posting that episode on Friday, as I usually do with guest episodes. It'll be audio for the free feeds. The uncut version will be going to the supporters, as it usually does. Put a little asterisk on that this time. It's going to be uncut, except for the point where we had to take a potty break, and I'm going to take that out because nobody needs to see 3 minutes of dead silence of just, a pair of empty chairs. But what is going to be different about this one is I am actually going to be posting this as the first video guest episode on the YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting this to the channel, so you guys will get to see the whole thing, and it's going to be a case of, it's okay. Here's Aaron doing a video guest spot with a video guest, and you're going to see both of us, and it's going to be back and forth, and I'm going to say I really hope you guys check it out, and I hope you enjoy it, because editing video is every bit the pain in the ass that I always thought it was that stopped me from having a video podcast for this entire fucking time. My entire thought process of why I do audio only is because I don't want to edit video. It's a pain in the dick. Now, granted, it's not as bad as it could be. Like, I don't have multiple video feeds to try and cut back and forth together, because I still just pulled the video recording off of the Zoom that I use to do everything with. And that's how I pulled the video for it. And that does its own back and forthing. And it's not, honestly, it's not probably the best video feed, because, again, the computer decides who's on the screen, not me. So there may be times where there was a facial reaction or something that was missed because the computer didn't record that part of the conversation. But for now, that's what we're going to get, because I need to get into it where it's more like, if I want to start doing like serious video episodes, I'm going to have to start doing serious video shit. And again, I don't know if I really want to. I actually tried installing Adobe to do video editing on my computer, and it turns out my computer doesn't have the fucking nuts to run that particular software, so I wound up having to do the whole thing with CapCut. So if it's any issues with how it turned out, I apologize, but it was a very time-consuming process, because I don't know how to make CapCut not run at speed and actually speed it up so I could get to the point. So the 4-hour interview that I managed to break down to 2.5, I still had to go through all 4 hours of it to get the material to where it is. So I hope you guys appreciate the effort I put to it, and at least, turn it on. And I don't care if you even watch it. Just turn it on so it gets some plays, so I feel like it might have been worth the effort. And let's see, will there be a pretentious beer snob discussion? I suppose we could do a pretentious beer snob discussion. I'm not a beer snob. I am pretentious in a lot of ways. I think I'm better than pretty much fucking everybody. So I'm definitely pretentious, but I'm not really a beer snob. I have like 5 beers in the whole house right now, I think. No, it might be more like 10. I've got 3 or 4 different New Glarus beers from a sampler case I picked up over the summer, and I think I've got like 4 Pilsners in the fridge behind me from Revolution Brewing, local Chicago Pils. That is just it was my side bitch beer for when I was on Razor Wire a few weeks ago, because I wasn't sure I was actually going to be able to drink the fucking beer I drank on that show. Which was a gamble, to say the least. It was a frickin' Trader Joe's season or holiday beer that I had been bottle aging since 2012. So, or was it 2010? I forget. I want to say it was like a 15-year-old beer. So, yeah, it would make it like 2010, but it might have been 2012. It might have only been a 13-year-old beer. But either way, we're talking a beer that has been sitting in a cool, dark place for over a decade. And honestly, it was pretty dainty. It was pretty something else. It was a lot more than standard proof on that one. It was it slapped me kind of hard. by the time I got to my second beer, I was feeling no pain, I'll tell you that much. But anywho's, where was I going with this? I don't remember. But yeah, so the video episode will be coming out on Friday. I would appreciate it if you guys all checked it out. I think you guys would probably enjoy JD's channel on YouTube, which would be good. And it would be a case of, even if you don't, again, like I said, if you don't know who Brennan is, it's kind of told in like the old school historical stuff. He talks about it during the episode, but it's kind of like a David Attenborough kind of narration thing, and it's a bunch of stories about historical battles and things, and it's it's just it's a good time. I would appreciate it if y'all would go give it a gander. And let's see. That's really all I can think of at the moment. Before I go into the Aaron's recipe for the week, which reminds me, I gotta update the website and post the recipe from last week too. But before I go into Aaron's fucking food for this week, I am going to open up to the chat and see if you guys have anything you want me to talk about before I carry on, and we'll give it a minute or so for the lag. Okay, I'm actually just really enjoying making faces at myself on the monitor here. This is fun. Okay. Okay, why is Elizabeth Warren still in office? Why is Bernie Sanders? Okay, this is from Cody in the chat, and I'm going to address this in a real, as simply as I know how. Because the system is fucking broken, then we've turned the halls of Congress into a fucking assisted living facility. That's why they're still there. Because we haven't done anything to force them the fuck out. They keep getting reelected despite the fact that they've never done anything for their fucking constituents, because their constituents are fucking stupid. Let's see. Lorenzo asks, is it pink? Don't know. Never looked at it that closely. I can't get my head down there. Kate's looking forward to the videos. Thank you, Kate. I really hope they're, when I get them out there, deliver. No, Shauna, my shirt's not striped. I learned my lesson from that friggin' interview. In case anybody's wondering what this little piece of non sequitur has to do with anything, during one of my video interviews last week, I was wearing a pinstriped black shirt, black and white pinstripes. Really sharp-looking shirt as far as I'm concerned. I thought it looked good on me. But for whatever reason, it fucked with the resolution on the camera, and I looked wavy for the entire interview. Like I was rippling because the shirt that was fucking with the picture on the stream. And it was an interview via Teams call, so it was great because I only had to look professional from the waist up, but at the same time I spent the whole time staring at the shirt like, okay, that's really fucking trippy. Like, instead of paying attention to the interviewer, I was kind of watching the little corner picture of my monitor that's in the bottom corner. All right. Duchess says they won't die. That's why they're still in office, which is very true. It's, we all got to wait till they Feinstein themselves out of the equation. And then Cody has asked me to turn on my lightsabers one at a time. Okay, I'm going to do it. This is real fun for anybody that's watching the audio version of this podcast. This won't be making it into the audio stream. Okay, now, I don't know if you guys can hear this shit, which is why I don't have them on during the recording. And technically, Bob, they're shorts. They're not pants. You want me to sharpen an entire pencil to a nub in the electric pencil sharpener? Okay. Yeah, they're very loud. Now, I'm starting to feel like this may be a case of, man, maybe I should start putting super chats available. You want me to sharpen a whole pencil down to the nub? mean, let me. I'm going to go with no. Yeah, this is yeah, no, I don't want to cut the wires to the speakers in the Sabre because then I can't scare the dog with them, Bob. And that defeats the whole point of it. Actually, that's not entirely true. She freaks out if I so much as touch those fucking things and she's in the room. She will run away. I don't even have to turn them on. I just have to pick them up. But and yes, by all means, clip me sitting there trying to sharpen a pencil and a pencil sharpener that don't fucking work. Maybe I'll put a new pencil sharpener on the Amazon wish list so you guys can buy me a pencil sharpener, and then I'll just do a live stream of me sharpening pencils for 25 fucking minutes. Yeah. Big dumb guy try to sharpen pencil. Anywho's it's. All right. Anything else before I get into the thing I am going to do? And this is going to be a really fast one. It's actually based on what we had for dinner the other day. Oh, and Shauna just commented, apparently the dog heard the lightsabers in the living room and started to freak out, so that's fucking phenomenal. I don't know why. I don't understand why she's afraid of them. I've never so much as smacked her with anything, not even when she's misbehaving. I don't need to add pencils. I've got like a box of like 300 fucking pencils over there because I'm a little special, and sometimes when I see something that's on sale, even if I don't have any logical reason to buy it, I will. And when I saw a box of like 300 pencils for like $1.75, I bought it. So we're good on pencils for a while, unless the stream takes off, in which case, you know. Okay, now I've got a comment in the chat that I actually don't fucking understand. What fish? I'm still waiting for an explanation, Shauna. What fish? Okay, well, since apparently I'm not getting an explanation from my wife, and you know, I don't need to push that one too much because you guys don't need to watch her come in here and beat me. You know, in case you guys ever know, if she's standing at the door and I do this, this is the signal, send help. No, I'm not. We're not doing the recipe from Fish for Dinner. No, the recipe this week is actually going to be the meatballs that we made the other night. Yeah, I can see that. Now she's yelling. She's gonna beat me. Anyway, so no, the recipe I was gonna do for this week is I'm just gonna walk you guys through making a real basic meatball, no filler. I prefer to make it using an 80-20 ground beef, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Now, this isn't exactly the recipe I made the other day for meatballs. This is a little variation about it, but this is, you know, my pull out the Aaron's recipe book. See, Aaron's recipes, my personal cookbook, years and years and years of fucking working here. And we're going to go to Aaron's Meatballs for Sandwiches. Now, this recipe yields 22 meatballs, which makes 5 sandwiches with 2 extras, because you do 4 meatballs per sandwich. And the recipe is 2 pounds of 80-20 ground pork, 1 pound of, 2 pounds of 80-20 ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork. Now, for the 1 pound of ground pork, I just get the little Jimmy Dean's tubes, the unseasoned one. They do have a just ground pork, not the sausage, because sausage has seasonings in it, which will change the flavor profile of your meatball, which is not what we're going for. But if you want to do that too, that's up to you. It's your world. Do what you want. You can still use the same ratios. It'll still come out turning okay. So anyway, 2 pounds of 80-20 ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork, 1 pound of bacon chopped finely. Raw bacon, not cooked bacon, not bacon bits, not fucking Bacos. I don't know who eats that fucking soy-flavored shit, but no, Bacos are garbage. So, 1 pound of bacon chopped finely. 1/4 cup grated Parmesan, 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning blend, 2 tablespoons of granulated garlic, 2 each fresh eggs, large fresh eggs, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire, right? 1 tablespoon. I know it's going to seem like a lot. 1 fucking tablespoon, because every time I've told somebody this recipe, that seems to be the thing everybody fucks up. Or if you don't like Worcestershire, leave it out. That's fine too. You are going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, right? Then, okay, we're going to combine all these ingredients in a bowl. Mix it very well till it's a nice, homogeneous, even blend where everything is evenly distributed through the entire thing. You're going to shape the balls. And now this says with a number 12 scoop, but most people don't know what that fucking means. You can use an ice cream scoop. But that's realistically the best way to portion this stuff out is to use an ice cream scoop, assuming you don't have one of the fucking giant ones. If you have a giant one, you're not going to get as many meatballs. You're going to have to cook them longer. That's the only major difference. But number 12 scoop is the portion size that was written for to be used in the restaurant industry, which is, like I said, it's roughly the size of a standard ice cream scoop. So you're going to scoop it out into a scoop, put it in your hand. You're going to roll it into a ball until it's nice and smooth and even. You're going to put it onto a sheet pan, a cookie sheet, or you can actually brown them off on the stovetop if you're feeling froggy. But most people prefer not to do that just because you got to pay attention to them and turn them so they don't burn. So anyway, you're going to arrange them. You're going to arrange your meatballs onto a cookie sheet, and you're going to bake them in an oven that was preheated to 375 degrees for 25 minutes to an internal temperature of 165. Verify that with a meat thermometer because all ground meat needs to be cooked to an internal temperature of 165 degrees for safe consumption. Now, if you want to undercook them a little bit in this particular instance, I'm not endorsing that. I'm telling you, safe food guidelines is you cook them to 165 degrees. But if you cook them to 155, 160, it's fine because after they're done cooking, what you're going to do is you're going to remove them, you're going to drain the fat, you're going to take the meatballs, you're going to chill them down. You're going to pop them in the fridge, and you're going to let them cool down. Or don't. I mean, if you're in a hurry, you don't have to do that, but that's how the instructions are written because, I wrote this for preparation in a restaurant setting. Now, after they're chilled or not, if they're, like I said, if you're in a hurry and you're trying to do dinner tonight, what you're going to do is you're going to put them into a marinara or a red sauce, thinned with, here's the thing, a 1.5 pints of marinara or a quart, depending on how much coverage you want, thinned with 1 cup of beef stock. Then what you're going to do is you're going to simmer them to bring them back up to 165 degrees. So if you want to do it like just heat and serve, you want to put them as meatballs for, spaghetti and meatballs or whatever, that works too. You can do them and just fold them in with that sauce. And if the meatballs are hot and the sauce is hot, you're good to fucking go. This recipe is written for use in a production facility to be made to meatballs for a bomber. So then what you're going to do is you put your cold meatballs into your sauce, you bring your sauce up to temperature, you simmer them for about 2 hours over a medium-low heat to an internal temperature of 165. The sauce permeates the meatballs, it sucks up in there, enhances the flavor, it becomes delicious. Then you serve the meatballs on a toasted French roll topped with mozzarella cheese, a sprinkling of Parmesan, browned under a broiler. They are absolutely delicious. They're phenomenal. You will love them. You will love them very much. You will appreciate Aaron for telling you this recipe. It's very simple. It's not hard. Good food doesn't have to be super fucking complicated and complex. That's one of the things I really hate about all these TikTok retards making shit. They're like, oh my God, look at this hack I discovered. No, you learned basic fucking cooking. It's not a hack. It's only a hack because your parents fed you McDonald's your entire fucking formative lifetime. And when you got out in the real world and learned how to actually make shit, you all thought it was fucking reinventing the fucking wheel. But you're all stupid people. And I'm going to talk shit about all of them. I really am. But anyway, so yes, that's back to the Annals of Aaron's Secret Cookbook. going away for right now. And there are some actually really amazing recipes in there. At some point, I will probably share with you guys if you like this segment. If not, I may say fuck it and just stop doing it. I'm waiting to see if you guys actually think my recipes are worth a damn or not. But there is some pretty cool shit in there. And actually, all the seasonings that I want to sell as a Aaron's Spice Rub line are also in that notebook. That notebook has a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in it. And unfortunately, it's actually missing a bunch of stuff because the original notebook was not that notebook. The original notebook has been MIA for fucking years, and there are some recipes in there I haven't been able to recover. I mean, I've rewritten some in there. There's some new ones in there that weren't in the original notebook, but the original notebook, if I could ever find that again, I would be a happy man. I really would. But I actually think the original notebook was in my Cadillac, and my Cadillac is in a junkyard somewhere, so that's probably where the original notebook is, I think, which makes me sad when I think about it, but I try not to think about it. I had an absolutely amazing vanilla blueberry bourbon barbecue sauce recipe in there, and I've never been able to get it quite right again, trying to do it from memory. So, I mean, maybe one of these days, but I don't know. That's for the future. So anyway, that's the recipe for this week. Aaron's Meatballs for Sandwiches, as it's written in the book. So I'm going to do this one more time to the chat, see if you guys have anything else before I put a pin in it for the night, because we are at an hour and 11 minutes minus the 8 minutes of the original build-up music. So we're looking at about an hour of material here, and there's some shit I'm going to have to take out, and you guys watching me roll around the room in my chair because I'm too lazy to stand up and go turn the lightsabers on. Yeah, that makes me a typical streamer, I guess, because, land whale in chair, roll across room, turn on nerd sticks. All right, nothing from the chat, so I guess for now, that's what I had to say.